How many of you guys know what tamales are and have eaten them before? Okay. Well, today I'll be teaching you how to make the chicken tamales. Those personally are my favorite kind because the strawberry ones I started getting bored of them, so I decided to try a new one, and basically I fell in love with the chicken tamales. Well, the tamales are a fine Mexican dish, which is basically made out of masa. It's a Mesoamerican dish. Tamales can be filled with cheeses, meats, any flavor, fruits, vegetables, and basically any flavor you can actually make them. I've seen people make them out of green apple, basically anything, as long as it tastes good, it's good. The first point I will talk to you guys about is the ingredients that you will need. First and foremost, you'll need the tamale wraps, which is the thing that you wrap the dough with. Veggies, if you want to make the chicken tamales. Salt, dihydrogen monoxide, I was joking around, it's just water. Chicken breasts, if you want to make the chicken. It really depends what kind of thing you want to make it out of. You got to make it of tenderloin, chicken breast, anything you want. Canned mixed veggies. Guajillo chilies. I couldn't find out what guajillo chilies were in English, so I just put it in Spanish and just put chili next to it. And then a Mexican mom. It's optional. It makes it better. And then the utensils you will need. This is basically step one of my main point. Vapor cooker with a ladle, so after you finish cooking it, the ladle will hold them in place so they don't fall down and the contents won't fall out. A regular pot for the chicken breast, 2 containers for your stuff, and a blender. First things first, we shall begin cooking. And remember, wash your hands because you don't want anyone, because usually when you make a tamales, you don't make 1 or 2, you make 20, 30 tamales for the whole family. First, I want to prepare the dough. This is one thing I couldn't find out how to say it nicely in English, but it's masa, and I Google translated what masa is, maseca, and it turns out to be lard for some reason, and I just put veggie oils, but you'll need to mix all the ingredients, the veggies, the salt, the water, the maseca, and you just basically mix it up until you get a bland and consistent dough. Step 3, you will grab the tamale wraps, and basically what you want to do now is you want to soak them in water so they get consistent and they're not as hard as they were in the beginning. And then you put your new dough out to the side and let it sit in a container. Step 4, you will begin cooking the flame for about 5 to 10 minutes, for a good hour or so, and keep it boiling and just keep it sitting there. And then now that the chicken is cooked, without emptying the water, begin shredding the chicken in small threads and just basically put it off to the side. Now it's time for the fun part. Cooking the guajillo chiles without coughing, because if anybody knows, when you cook chilies, depends which one you cook, the aroma makes you cough. You will cook the chilies in the same water you used to cook the chicken. Although it might seem like not good to cook it in the same water, that's how you basically do. And then after you finish the cooking, you basically cut it up, take out the spice veins, and put it off to the side. Then you blend the guajillo chilies into the blender with the same water you used to cook the chicken and the chilies. And then that's basically it. You blend it, and then you clean out the pot that you used to cook them for the next step. Then, after you finish doing that, you will put the blended guajillo chilies in the pot and boil it for 10 minutes with the same water. Then you take the canned vegetables and pour them in and basically cook them. And then once boiling, the same water that you cooked the guajillo chilies and the vegetables are cooking, you basically pour the chicken in and let it sit with the flame off. And basically you're making the chicken absorb the guajillo chili peppers and the flavor of the chilies and the vegetables. And then you take the tamale wraps out of the water. Now that they're bland and malleable, you're ready to start doing the fun part, which is this, making the tamales itself. Now you make dough balls until you run out of dough. This is the fun part. So basically you got a bunch of dough, and now you start making dough balls. And then now with your left hand, you'll take the tamale wraps and hold it, and then place the tamale, the dough ball, on top of the tamale wrap, and then start squishing it. And make sure that none of the dough falls out. And then, now that you have the dough fall flat on the wrap, you play the pico de gallo, which is the thing that we made in the previous steps. And you basically take a spoonful of that and pour it on top of the dough. And then place it swirly, and that's what you get. And then you just close the next step is that you will close the tamale wrap carefully so that the contents don't fall out. Because right now, how the pico de gallo is, if you don't close it carefully, it'll seep out and then you'll make a mess, and nobody wants to make a mess. And then when you buy the tamale wraps in the beginning, they come with a string that, so when you put it in the cooker pot, you'll tie it around so it doesn't lose its shape after you close it out. And then you'll place the tamales in the vapor cooker with the cradle itself so that the tamales don't flip over, and then you'll cook them for about an hour. And then basically steps 9 and 10, you'll repeat them as long until you run out of food. That's what you basically do. Because you never know how much thing you made until you know, like, basically the amount of tamales you're gonna make are based off how much you get. And then step 11, you just cook the tamales in the vapor cooker for about an hour, and then just turn it off and let it sit. And then we'll wait, which is the boring part. Just wait, and wait. And then final step, eat and enjoy. Well, wrapping things up, see what I did there? Wrapping things up. I taught you my 3 main points of how to make tamales, the ingredients and preparation, what you will need, and what the final product should look like. And I hope you guys learned how to make tamales, and hopefully you guys try them at the end.